Hello, everybody. Here with the Impact Review for the 6th of October, 2020. Um, I feel like the show's falling off a little bit, and that makes me sad going into Bound for Glory, their biggest pay per view of the year. I just feel like some of the stories aren't coming together the way intended, or they're trying to do too much. I was not impressed with um, the Victory Road show they did on Saturday. I just felt it was awkward. There was good stuff in here, but overall, I felt like the show was just. It's almost like they don't have enough to do decent things with what's there, and they're featuring perhaps the wrong people. Anyway, um, I mean it's fine, but there's nothing on here that if you missed it, you couldn't come back in a week and walk away feeling like you're up on things. Open and video um, highlights both last week's Impact and the Victory Road deal. They focus on the tag team four-way and surrounding the tag belts and Eric Young and Eddie Edwards title match. Tommy Dreamer and Brian Myers. Dreamer wins by DQ. Dreamer has the advantage early, spilling the match to the floor. Dreamer chops the ring posts. This gives Myers an opening to take the advantage for a while. Myers works over Dreamer's back and neck. Dreamer's wearing black and orange polka dots in honor of almost Halloween. Dreamer hits some small comebacks, but he gets cut off every time. Dreamer catches Myers with a power slam, stops the momentum. Dreamer hits a cutter for near fall. Myers comes back with a sky high, gets his own near fall. Dreamer dodged a top rope elbow, hits a DDT. Myers dodges an elbow from Dreamer and also hits a DDT. So they're basically playing Can You Top This? Myers gets a kendo stick. Dreamer gets a hold of it and stops himself. And then Myers uses it, attacks, hits Dreamer for the DQ. Post match, Dreamer keeps attacking Myers keeps attacking Dreamer. Scott D'Amore and security come out to stop him. I like where the story is going with this, but I don't know that there's a payoff. Hopefully, there's a payoff at the pay per view. We would hope. Anyway, we see Moose roaming around the arena looking for the TNA World Championship that's scheduled to be destroyed tonight by EC3. Johnny Bravo tells his groomsman that the wedding needs to be paid for. Falaba takes responsibility as the best man. Deaners and Swinger and Crazy Steve all argued about who owed money to who. Raju comes out, calls out anyone who wants to challenge for the Defeat Rohit challenge. Willie Mack comes out. Rohit tells him he'd already had his opportunity. And Jordana Grace comes out. Jordana Grace gets the win. I'm not necessarily, without story, I'm not a fan of intergender matches. For it to be thrown out of nowhere, and Jordana Grace, less than a month ago, was in that great 30-minute Iron Woman match, and now she's doing this. It just feels like a step backwards. Raju started the match, but didn't want to give the championship belt to the referee. Grace rolls up Raju with an Okada for the win. Grace thought she'd won the title. Referee announced that this was a non-title match, and then Raju, still champion. Grace has a win over the champion. Hopefully this leads to a longer, more drawn-out match. D'Amore waited for Raju at Gorilla, tells him that he needs to show he's a great fighting champion. He'd been defending the championship against Willie Mack, TJP, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay, and Jordana Grace at Bound for Glory. So it's going to be a 6-way, 5-way, whatever, Falaba challenges Hernandez to another arm wrestling match, and this is an attempt to get the money for the wedding of Bravo. Rascals, Desmond Xavier, Zachary Wentz defeats Triple XL, AC Romero, and Larry D. Didn't we just see this the other day? Romero and D jumped the Rascals during the entrance. They get rid of Wentz, double team on Xavier. They drop him with a big power bomb. Triple XL cut the ring off on Xavier, and they hit a couple of power moves, and then a couple near falls there. Xavier gets himself out of trouble and gets tagged to Wentz. Comes in with a series of drop kicks and gets a near fall of his own. Running shooting star press, he nails. He transitions to the sleeper for a submission attempt. Finish sees Romero accidentally lariat his own partner, who's then super kicked by Wentz. Rascals hit the fire flame on D for the win. Not a fan of this. Again, I mentioned it on Saturday, but I don't like the big men versus really, really small men thing. Falaba successfully tricks Hernandez into taking a shower. And Bob manages to steal the money away from Hernandez. Obviously, that'll catch up somewhere. Jimmy Jacobs interviews Dr. Foreman and Rich Swann about Swann's rehab. Foreman says that Swann says he's good for bound for glory but cleared as of today. Eric Young, dressed as a nurse, attacks Swann from behind. He goes after the leg with a kettlebell, and Foreman calls for the police. Amazing. Gia Miller interviews Motor City Machine Guns, and they say tonight they're wrestling Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. They do acknowledge Austin's ability. Good Brothers interrupt. Anderson bragged about being undefeated on Impact. That doesn't really say much. Shelley responds that they were the better team, and that's why they're the champions. Gallows told him to make sure they take care of them tonight because they wanted to make the champions. They wanted to meet the champions at Bound for Glory, and they want them to be safe and sound when they get there. Not a fan of this. The match will be good, but I'm just not a fan of the way this angle's playing out. Rosemary and Taya defeat Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Man, Hogan and Steelz came in with such fanfare, and it just they've dropped. Valkyrie and Hogan start the match, and power advantage for Hogan, tossing him from corner to corner. Taya hits a running hip attack and double knees for a pin attempt. Rosemary and Steelz both tag in. Steelz gets overpowered just as her partner had. And Rosemary goes for an upside down move. Hogan kicks Rosemary off the ropes and turn the match tied to her team's direction. Steelz and Hogan use their speed to keep Rosemary down, and Taya is off the apron. The tandem of Hogan and Steelz hit some double teams, near falls. Rosemary manages to hit Steelz with the backplex and gets a tag to Taya. Valkyrie runs wild on Hogan and Steelz, gets a near fall with a blue thunder bomb, and transition to a curve stomp and into an STF. Rosemary takes out Hogan with a German suplex, eats a codebreaker from Steelz. Steelz goes to take out Taya. Rosemary gets behind her with a spear and a standing butterfly bomb for the win. Not a bad match, but it's a letdown based on where these women could be. And Havoc and Nevaeh were watching this match the whole time. The Deaners, Cody Deaner and Cousin Jake, defeat Johnny Swinger and Crazy Steve. I'm not really into any of these acts, so this match doesn't really have an effect for me. Deaners offers a beer to Crazy Steve, who drank some and then shared with his puppet. Swinger tells his partner to take the match seriously. Swinger couldn't get his partner to hand him weapons from the gimmick bag, and Swinger has the referee. Swinger tries to use the monkey as a weapon. Steve takes it away. Diener takes advantage and hits a DDT and wins. Yes, this is just goofy. Deanna Purrazzo breaking Susie's arm at Victory Road is shown next. Miller interviews Kylie Ray. She's upset not being able to do anything for her friend. Kimberly interrupts and teased her that she should be worried because she can suffer the same fate at Bound for Glory. Ray's had enough, jumps Lee, and D'Amore meets with Heath about offering him an Impact contract. Heath thanks him for the opportunity. D'Amore said he wanted to write him an offer. Heath jumps ahead and gives D'Amore a proposal instead. Heath asks for more than D'Amore could offer, so they went back and forth. The discussion gets to the point where D'Amore just straight threw Heath's papers in the air and rejected any proposals. So they're going to continue this goofy storyline. Anyway, outside the office, Heath berates Rhino for telling him to reject the WWE offer he had after Raw with McIntyre to instead join Impact, and now he's left with nothing. That is an interesting storyline development here. EC3 cuts a promo on Moose telling him that it's too late, and Moose had to break his attachment to the championship. EC3 throws the TNA belt in the river, and then Ken Shamrock is having some second thoughts about attacking Eddie Edwards. Sami Callihan reinforces this was a good idea. Shamrock and Callihan basically fight verbally with each other, and this causes Shamrock to get upset and attack an innocent person passing by. Matthews and Rain announced that next week includes Hogan and Steels versus Havoc and Nevaeh versus Taya and Rosemary, Kylie Ray versus Kimberly, Fulton versus Gallows, and an update on Rich Swann. Main event time for the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, Shelley and Sabin, defeat Ace Austin and Madman Fulton in a non-title match. I'm not sure that this was the way to go. I would have had the champions drop a fall here, but I'm also partial to Austin and Fulton being the futures of Impact if Impact's going to have a future. Sabin and Austin start the match, counter wrestling, reversal, a lot of mat stuff, wrist control, then drop kicks. Shelley comes in. Shelley and Sabin keep control of the match for a while. Austin's arm is their main target with double teams included. Austin manages to get an opportunity to get to his own corner. Fulton is excited to get in. Fulton goes straight for Shelley, hits him with the snake eyes and a big boot, turns the match around for his team. Fulton's attack is basically using his power over and over, including using the turnbuckle. Fulton and Austin use a side slam, leg drop combination for near fall. Austin does his paper cut, and then we keep working over Shelley's arm. Fulton gets hit accidentally by Austin, and Shelley tags out. Sabin gets in, goes straight for Austin's arm and neck. Austin manages to tag Fulton, and they go to the floor. Machine Guns try a double team. Fulton saves him, and then they double team him. Austin interrupts a pin, and they hit the reverse STF into a dropkick combo on Austin. Go to the finish. Fulton reverses and hits a double suplex. Good power spot there. Suddenly the North come out with chairs, and Good Brothers come out, and they break things up that way. Gallows hits Fulton with an uppercut, giving Shelley and Sabin an opening, and they hit their finish for the win. Really good main event. Teases the build up for the tag match at the pay per view, but overall a skippable show as mentioned. We'll be back with more right after this.